a couple of your questions. Just unfortunately, piggybacking on the property values, I bought a condo here in Tucson a couple of years ago, $250,000, now worth $150,000. I just had it reappraised, unfortunately, about 3 weeks ago. So I'm not planning on selling it. It's good news, but it just goes to show that all of our values. In fact, we have this mortgage foreclosure crisis here in the state of Arizona. It's a different issue, but it's not just in the two-back area, of course. Last year, the year before, we had the drug czar that came to southern Arizona. I think his name was John Walters, is that right? Former drug czar. We've been working with new appointees to try to figure out from a national strategy how we reduce or, ideally eliminate this increasing booming. Yes, sir. Our last question.
Last but not least, John Russell, Green Valley. I submitted two, so I don't know.
I know you did. I'm monitoring everything here.
I don't know which one you pulled, so let me just sneak them both in since they're brief. First one to GAO, to the chief, was Canamex, the future mega trade corridor that's going to go through and use I-19. Was that considered in the design of the permanent checkpoint? That's an easy one. And the others for the GAO. One of the tables you showed in your presentation where you had data for the 3 Texas checkpoints. What's missing in there is their distance from the border. Is that information available since KP 41 will be approximately 25.5 miles? I'm just curious what the other 3 that you evaluated were or are.
Well, sir, in reference to your first question with CanNex, I touched on it a little bit earlier. The folks have been designing the new port of the future to facilitate trade of the future and commerce of the future. And what we've done is we've partnered up with that group to make sure that our checkpoint will also facilitate. As I touched on, if we spend over $200 million on the port of entry Nogales, and we create a bottleneck up here on I-19, we're going to have a lot of issues with that. We're aware of that today. We're also very much aware that 65% of America's winter produce comes up by 19 every year. A lot of these stats have been taken in, not just internally to DHS, but also we're working with the fruit industry, Arizona Department of Transportation, and everybody else that's involved in commerce to make sure that we do that.
The answer is yes.
Yes, sir.
You're working with the governors and the next task force.
We're working with everybody involved with the future of the I-19 corridor. I mean, there's working groups that are going on with that.
With respect to the distance from the border, those particular checkpoints, except the one on I-35, which is newer and a little further away, but most of these are anywhere from 25 to 30, 50, somewhere in there. But we have that information in our working papers. If you continue to be interested in that, see me after the meeting, and we will see if we can get that information to you. We can speculate, but I'd rather get you the actual data.
Well, thank you. I want to give a round of applause to the GAO team, who's generously keeping us in Arizona. For all of their hard work over the last 6 years to reduce this report. Thank you, Rich, Adam, and Amy, so much. Thanks to the men and women of the Border Patrol for all of their hard work. Putting their lives on the line every single day for all of us. And most importantly, for our community members who live here, who work here, who grow up here. I know that this is a big change for all of us, and for us to have a chance to come together and analyze what this report says, and as we move forward, I'm looking forward to continue to work with you. The report was officially released on Monday. It's available on my website, giffords.house.gov, also available on the GAO website as well. I'm in the process of digesting it. I did have a chance to recently speak with Senator Kyle, who's in the process of digesting it, Senator McCain as well. And as I return to Washington next week, we'll have a chance to pull together all of the individuals who requested this GAO study and work with, I always want to call her governor, it's unfortunate. Former Governor Napolitano, now Secretary Napolitano, to figure out how we can bring more necessary resources. I mean, as I said earlier, the numbers speak for themselves. Even with the increased resources we've had in the Tucson sector, we're still responsible for about 50% of all the apprehensions that are taking place in the country. I want to state for the record that I've been very critical of us not being able to beef up the implementation that we had talked about a couple of years ago for the interim checkpoint. I think we're probably having a different conversation today if we've been able to put all of those important resources at the interim checkpoint that we've talked about in this room and other rooms in the past. But we are where we are right now, and I want to thank the Border Patrol for agreeing to implement the recommendations from the GAO. I thought they were excellent. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you all, looking forward to working with the community, but particularly with Janet Napolitano as our new Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. She's from Arizona, she understands the needs that we have, and I believe that we're going to see some great progress in the future. So thanks everyone for coming out today.
At the ports of entry, the federal goal is to detect and apprehend 30% of major illegal activity, and this shows the need for a three-tiered strategy.